This is a true story. It happened many years ago when I was a much younger teacher at a very large and overcrowded middle school. Since every other person in the room that day is long retired, I think it's time to share. I spent many years of my art teaching career feeling inadequate and wondering what I lacked. Especially my first years as a middle school teacher. I had taught elementary school for about 7 years and then switched to middle school. And it was a completely different story. Same kids that I'd taught in elementary school acted completely different at the junior high school age. It actually wasn't until the introduction of the PLC, or Professional Learning Community, that this changed for me. I just walked into a classroom, saw certain behaviors, and just wondered what I was doing wrong, and figured I lacked some magical, amazing skill that other teachers must have. I would pass by other people's rooms, and they seemed quiet, and I just felt like I was doing something wrong. But when we started using PLCs, I would listen to other teachers during the PLC period discuss the same issues that I was having, and I finally realized it wasn't me. It wasn't that I lacked some mysterious, magical, awesome quality. Teaching was just really hard work. At one point, our PLC leader asked to meet with the vice principal to discuss some discipline challenges that were arising because of the new block schedules. So he listened for a while, and then he turns to me and he says, "So everyone's having these problems but you. Why is that? You must be reaching these students when no one else is." I was shocked. Quite the opposite was true. I was drowning, but I just wasn't saying anything because I was too ashamed. So I said back to him, "I'm having the same problems they are." And he goes, "But you haven't written anyone up all year." "No, I wrote up a boy in September, don't you recall? He was throwing things. He went down to your office and you laughed after reading the referral and told him it was a stupid reason to write someone up and that I should have handled it myself." And I know this because the student came back to my classroom immediately, and that's what he told me. So after that, I never wrote anybody up again. So there's a stunned silence, and the vice principal says back to me, "So you handled things yourself from then on?" No, I just felt awful. I had the same discipline issues as the rest of the other teachers, only I didn't know that everyone else was experiencing the same things. I just felt terrible, and I wondered what was wrong with me. It's actually a huge relief to find out I'm not alone. From now on, I'll try and keep better records of what's actually going on in my classroom. Afterwards, everybody kind of came up to me and congratulated me on my blunt honesty, which is kind of something I'm known for. But the reality is that we should not be congratulating each other for being honest. Honesty is something that we really should expect from each other. And it bothers me as a society that we create these myths about the super teacher or the super nurse or the super social worker, the super this or the super that. And we forget that all this stuff is really hard work, that all these skills are learned, and that we learn this stuff through trial, error, and looking up to more experienced leaders. And the issue that I have really is that when we create these myths, anybody who's not sure what they're doing feels like hiding, and it feels ashamed. And I think this is part of what's causing a lot of teachers to leave the profession, is that veteran teachers aren't honest about how hard it is and how much work it is and what a struggle it is. So here's my thing. If this story was about an art teacher that spent her entire life just plowing into her teaching and putting her students first, everyone will be applauding her. But if the story is about a Wall Street executive and he's spending long hours at work and neglecting his family, then he's a bad guy. And I think we need to just kind of take a step back and say that everyone needs balance. Teachers need balance. Wall Street executives need balance. And that everyone's really learning and that nobody's born knowing all the answers. And that if we're honest with ourselves and we're honest with each other, the world will be a lot better place.